Hello, boys and girls. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you are all enjoying your time with your family. I already did so today. Gonna do more of that tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I'm just here, sitting here, getting really drunk. Woo! Merry Christmas Eve. Let's just shut up. Let's just recap week 15 real quick. This is probably a short episode. I don't know if I'm doing anything else tonight. Let's recap though, real quick. Chiefs beat the Chargers. I think we already talked about that last week, but yeah, but that was pretty good. That was a good game from what I've seen the highlights. Colts and Patriots. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that the Colts won. I thought the Patriots were gonna win, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor's a fucking beast. He's definitely in the consideration for MVP. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is definitely the front runner, but if a quarterback doesn't win it this year, it's definitely gonna be either Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp. But let's talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, Cowboys 21-6. Saw a little bit of this game. Pretty boring. Dallas dominate as we expected them to. Texans beating the Jags. That's not a surprise. I said the Texans would win. I thought the Titans would win this game, but Steelers they killed themselves. They had like 4 turnovers in the second half alone. They turned the ball over too many times, and that's why Pittsburgh won that game. Dolphins are on a 6-game winning streak. These beat the Jets, but barely. For some reason, this game was competitive. It shouldn't have been, but it is what it is. Division games can sometimes be more competitive than we expect them to be. Lions destroyed the Cardinals, and now the Cardinals are looking really fraudulent. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now. We don't know about Arizona, which is pretty fucking crazy to say. I thought they'd be dominating their way to the end of the year, but seems like either Kyler Murray's not fully healed from his injury. It's probably a lot of things. Probably that. It's probably D-Hop being out, which doesn't help. And I don't know why their defense is starting to suck, but I guess it is what it is at this point. Detroit's coming back doing Detroit things, which is pretty fucking crazy. They actually love to play hard for Dan Campbell. Bills beat the Panthers. Not a surprise there. The Panthers are fucking ass. They have no fucking quarterback. Cam Newton's ass. Darnold is ass. And fucking PJ Walker or whatever his name is from the other league, he's ass. Bengals barely beat the Broncos, but because of that win, they're now in first place in the AFC North, and because of other games that the Browns lost, but we'll get to that in a second. But from what I've seen, it was just a pretty struggle, and Teddy Bridgewater hurt himself again. Hopefully he's doing okay. He's not going to be playing the next game, so hopefully he recovers, but San Francisco beat Atlanta. We all saw that coming. Green Bay should have crushed Baltimore, but they got too conservative at the end. And Baltimore came back with their backup, with Tyler Huntley, I think his name was, the backup quarterback. Yeah. Whoever Baltimore's backup quarterback was. Almost won, came from behind and won. But they failed on 2-point conversion again. And this is the second time in like the past 4 weeks Baltimore's gone for 2 and missed it. I don't really blame them for going for 2, but the problem is if you miss, you just lose. I understand what his mindset is. Hey, we can't really compete in overtime with these other fucking teams. And now the Green Bay Packers are the only team to have clinched their division because of that win. Saints shut out the Bucks, which no one saw coming because of the Saints' injuries, and we didn't think Taysom Hill would do what he did. Now the Bucks are decimated with injuries as well. They should win out these last 3 games, even with all their injuries going on right now, and they probably won't be fully healthy until the playoffs, but we'll see. We got to be a little concerned for Tampa Bay now. And this crazy-ass game, the Browns almost beat the Raiders with their whole team fucking decimated with COVID. But Daniel Carlson with the game winner. He's one of the best field goal kickers in the league right now. So good for the Raiders are still alive in the playoff hunt. The Browns are now in last place. If they won this game, they would have been in first place in the playoff hunt, which I predicted earlier in the year. I thought they would have won the division, but clearly it's not gone Cleveland's. Things have not gone Cleveland's way. I figured Minnesota would have beaten the Chicago Bears. We needed, as an Eagles fan, as you can obviously see, we needed the Bears' help to keep the Vikings out. So clearly they're not going to help out. So the next 2 weeks against Minnesota, they play the Rams. So we're going to be. I am a partial Rams fan next week, and they beat Seattle, which not surprised, but they look. But some of the highlights I saw, they looked like they struggled. And this Eagles game was pretty fucking nuts. Just the fact that after the first quarter, they looked like they were. After the first quarter was a terrible quarter, but then afterwards, they actually looked like a decent fucking football team. They actually ran the football well. Jalen Hurts got his head out of his ass and decided to fucking play and not throw interceptions left and right. Future for Jalen Hurts is still up in the air for me. Because next year's quarterback class is not that great. And I don't know if we're going to go after any free agent quarterbacks. I don't know if we're going to go after Jimmy Garoppolo, which he might be up on the trade market after this year, just because the Titans want Trey Lance and all that shit. And I don't know if we're going to go after Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, thinking that his legal shit is cleared, but we probably aren't. He's probably going to stay in Houston for a long time, depending on what's going on with that situation. But anyway, in order for Jalen Hurts to keep being the starter of this team into the next year, I think he needs to win out. I know it's sort of unfair on his part. It's unfair on because of the fact that we expected a lot from him in this 1 year. This is sort of a feel out. In my mind, this was sort of a feel out Jalen Hurts year, see what he can do. He's had some good performances. He's had some really shitty performances. He's had some in the middle. Now with this part of the year, because I feel like some fans are asking too much of him, and others aren't thinking he doesn't do enough. We have now after I would say the Detroit game. I would say that Detroit game is where we found our identity, which is going to run the football down your throat, and Jalen Hurts needs to make the throws that he needs to make. All he has to do is not turn the football over. Sometimes he's done that. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he doesn't. Like the other game against the Giants, he was a terrible quarterback that game. We can all admit that. This week he was a little better. He struggled after the first quarter, turned the ball over twice, but after that he got his head out of his ass and he led the team to. He didn't make any mistakes after that. So now let's go on to the next week's game. Let's just predict all of next week's games. And let's load up. Come on, baby. There we go. Let's talk about this game right here. Titans and the 49ers. Titans beat the 49ers last night in a really shitty first half game. Second half got a lot better. Tannehill threw the ball to A.J. Brown, who was the fucking man that night. So the scenario that's happened now is that if the Colts lose to the Cardinals on Saturday, tomorrow, Titans clinch the division. And because the 49ers lost, I've read that the Cowboys are automatically in the playoffs no matter what. Whether they win out the division, which they most likely will, or if somehow they lose out and Eagles somehow win the next 3 in a row and win the division. But they would still be in the but just so it doesn't matter. Dallas is automatically in the playoffs no matter what happens. So they're most likely to keep the division win. But anyway, there's the next couple of games tomorrow. Packers and Browns. Cleveland is in desperation mode. Baker Mayfield's coming back. He needs to step his shit up. He's not had a great year this year. But Aaron Rodgers is too much on fire, and I think he's going to crush Cleveland. I think the Packers are actually going to crush Cleveland. Even for all the other players coming back. The Packers are just on fire, and they're just going to continue to play great and claim the number 1 seed in the NFC. This game's kind of a toss-up. Arizona has struggled, but I think they know that they're struggling. They need to get their head out of their ass. They should have beaten the brakes out of Detroit. And I don't know if they would have. I don't think they would have won the division last week, but they need to basically. I think they need to win out and basically to win the division. I don't know off the top of my head, but the Colts need to win in order to keep in the playoffs. But this, I don't want to say keep in the playoffs, but have a better chance to stay in the playoff race. Because if they lose, the Titans win the division. They're probably still in the top three when it comes to a wild card, based off record or whatever. I'm not. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know right now. But yeah, this one's gonna be tough to call. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Colts over the Cardinals. I don't know. Arizona's been struggling lately, and I don't know if they can come back against this team. This Colts team is a physical football team. They could run the football down your throat, and the better they are at running the football, the more likely they are going to win. And Carson Wentz is in a situation where he doesn't need to be the playmaker. He doesn't need to be the superhero. Makes all the throws, and so I think they'll do well, and I think it'll be close, but I think the Colts will win this game tomorrow. Now to our game, Eagles and Giants. We should have never lost to the Giants the first time, but like I said, Jalen Hurts didn't play that great of a game, and we ran the football pretty well, but obviously it wasn't enough to stop the Giants. I think Daniel Jones is starting that game. Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. So we should win this game because the backup quarterback's in. I believe Jake Fromm is starting for this team. So yeah. Eagles should win this game pretty I'm not going to say handily, but we should win this game. I just want the win. I don't care about how much. Rams and Vikings, like I said not that long ago, I'm a partial Rams fan because we need the Vikings to basically lose 2 out of their next 3 games in order for us to get in the playoffs. And that depends on us if we win out. I don't think we can afford to lose any games because I think Minnesota has a better either a better conference record or a better what's the one thing? I guess conference record or better strength of schedule wins. So yeah, we basically need Minnesota to lose out. So probably not gonna lose their last game, which is against Chicago, but I'm confident the Rams are gonna beat the Vikings this week. Bills and Patriots, this has to be another good game. I don't think the Patriots can get away with only throwing the football 3 times like they did the first meeting. And if Josh Allen is that dude, which I think he is that dude. I like Josh Allen a lot. I think he's a really good quarterback. He's definitely a franchise guy. But he needs to step up and beat this Patriots team. And I think if they win, they take the division lead because the Patriots have 2 division losses while the Bills only had 1 because they beat the Dolphins twice. They beat the Jets once, I believe. I don't know if they played the Jets twice. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, but the Bills would take the lead. So I'm going to go with the Bills in this game. I think the Bills get their revenge in this game. I think they play well and beat Mac Jones and the Patriots. Bucks and Panthers. Even though the Bucks are decimated with injuries, the Panthers don't have a quarterback. Well, they don't have a good quarterback anyway. But I think the Bucks will win no matter what happens because they re-signed Le'Veon Bell, get him involved in the offense. I think they win pretty handily. Jags and Jets. This is a low battle. This is a low tier game. I think the Jags have Jags have the first overall pick, and Jets are both these teams aren't really that good. So, but I think the Jets have a little bit more talent, and they're at home. So I'm just going to pick the Jets to win just because they're at home. Lions and Falcons. As much as I want Detroit to be better, I just think Atlanta's just going to beat them. Chargers and Texans. Chargers is going to beat I think Chargers win easily. Ravens and Bengals is a good AFC North game where this division is the most interesting division as of right now, just because it's wide open. Cleveland may have a chance to win the division, even though they're 500 or 7-7. They're in last place right now, but they probably still have a good chance to win. But with this game, just because Cincinnati's at home and Baltimore's decimated with injuries, I'm going to go with the Bengals at home. And then here's 2 pretty crappy teams, Bears and Seahawks. We don't know if Justin Fields is going to play. I'm just going to pick the Seahawks to win just because they're hard to beat at home. Steelers and Chiefs. That's going to be another good. That's going to be a fun game, actually. I believe Kelsey and Tyreek Hill are on the COVID list. I don't think they're playing because of that. But even with that, I think the Chiefs still have enough to beat the Steelers. But it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be closer than people think. I don't know how high or low scoring it's gonna be, but they are still gonna. I think it's still gonna be a close game. Raiders and Broncos, and Raiders won by the skin of their teeth last week. Derek Carr did what he needed to do, so I think he's gonna do the same thing again. I think the Raiders are gonna win by the skin of their teeth and move up to 8-7, and possibly they're probably gonna be just outside the playoff wild card race, and they need a lot of help from other teams to lose. Dallas and Washington. I believe Dallas wins this game. They win the division. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I think Dallas is going to beat Washington. Washington's too beat up. Even though they have players coming back. I don't think Heineke's good enough to fucking beat Dallas. And then Monday's game, excuse me. Saints and Dolphins, which is actually a pretty interesting matchup. The Dolphins can be the first team, which I apparently just learned in NFL history, to win 7+ games in a season. Well, actually, not. I think 7+. What was it? It was 7 or more games after starting 1-7 or whatever. Something crazy stat like that. Both defenses are really good, even though a lot of players on the Saints are on the COVID list. I'm still going to pick the Dolphins, even though the Saints are hard to beat at home. No matter who the quarterback is, no matter what the situation is, I think the Dolphins are going to win out this game. So, yeah, those are my picks for the week. Like I said, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year if I don't put out another episode before the New Year. I might put one on Saturday. I don't really have a schedule right now as what I plan to do, but we'll see. So yeah, anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, Kwanzaa, Happy New Year if I don't see you before then. And go Birds.